So we've just finished discussing the 4 principles of Rogers in early childhood education. You happen to be on the front lines of it. You are an early childhood educator. So if you can share with us, what does it actually look like applying those principles in the classroom setting?
Well, the foremost one principle is in how it relates in early childhood of how Rogers explained is the children get to lead their learning. And so I'm not going to determine what we're going to study today, what we're going to learn about today, what their experiences are going to be. I'm going to watch what they gravitate towards. You had used the blocks earlier. If that's what they want to use, I'm going to let them do that. If somebody else wants to do the dinosaurs or the babies, that's what they get to do. They get to do it all at the same time. And what this does is it trusts the child that they can direct their own learning and that they'll be doing what they need to know for them to enjoy the whole process of learning and to be motivated. How this translates in the classroom is as I observe what the children are interacting with, then I'm going to respond to them. I'm taking their lead. And I will allow the children to pursue the interests rather than determining what they should be thinking about. And what Rogers had said about the feeling of being threatened, this actually eliminates a child's feeling threatened by knowledge, because whatever they do want to learn, they're doing it because that they want to. The second thing that is important for the teacher, first the child leads his learning, then the teacher responds to what the child is doing, and we respond by giving them feedback. And there's a couple different kinds of effective feedback that Rogers refers to, and one is narrative feedback, where I will simply say, I see that you have the yellow block. I see that you're putting the yellow block into the hole that it fits into. So I'm narrating what I see the child do. And that's narrative feedback, and it's very important. When a child recognizes that their efforts are being, when a child knows that their efforts are being recognized, that then helps them with the process of self-actualization and building their concept of a positive sense of their own self. The other kind of feedback that is very important that we give the children is objective feedback. So that's when we're going to go through the scaffolding process, where we are going to acknowledge the information that they already know. We're going to add to it, like the example that we had used about the cylindrical blocks and the square blocks. The child already knew a certain amount of knowledge, but then in addition to identifying what they were doing, I gave them some additional information and gave them the choice of pursuing that information or not. By not dictating what a child should do with the information that they receive, that also helps them to self-actualize, as Rogers puts it. The other thing about objective feedback and narrative feedback is we don't want to attach any qualifications on it. One of the things that Rogers expresses is the conditional and unconditional. When we say, no, don't do it like that, it's supposed to be like this, you're using that the wrong way, you can only do it like this, we're actually placing conditions on them. We're implying that their idea that is important to them may be wrong. And that does a lot to break down and diminish their own sense of self-worth. So we want to be careful that we don't put any conditions or judgments on the tasks that the child is doing. And in the process of all of this, what you see is that the teacher or the caregiver is right alongside the student, right alongside the child.